Don't be evil is a motto in regards to ethics by Google. It is one of the most pathetic statements of moral ineptitude one could possibly say. It's not because everyone knows what the good is and sees it as clearly achievable, which would be magnificent. Instead, it is the exact opposite. No one knows what the good is, and instead of trying to discover it, they offer empty platitudes of not being evil. You might say this is an isolated case, but instead, I want to ask you, do we see any prominent groups in society clearly articulating arguments and defending theories of what is virtuous behavior? No. Instead, society consists of a bunch of people damning each other for being evil. This is moral stagnation of society. And why is this? Why can't anyone say what is virtuous and defend it? As a society, meaning the majority of people around us, has lost the capacity to discover what the good is. So how do we do better than simply saying, don't be evil? Where do we even start? The first thing to understand about morality is that it is firmly grounded in cause and effect of one's actions. If a person was not able to tell what the results of their actions were, then any attempts to judge their morality is pointless. Having morality that dismisses the results of one's actions is one that dismisses reality and is not fit to guide one's actions. This does not mean that one can never make a mistake, but that one must take into account all information one holds and reevaluate it when evidence warrants it. A person who refuses to act on their own knowledge is guilty by default. If a father knows that by feeding raw food to their child, it can become sick, but discards that information and does so anyway, then he is morally culpable for any illness his child will get as a result. Our society dismisses cause and effect in regards to morality, instead viewing it as something that one feels rather than something that is rationally discovered. What is the result? It would be the moral stagnation of society that we see today. It's seeing the same mistakes repeated endlessly and the paralyzation of any avocation for virtuous behavior, because there is no standard to judge it by. How do we rectify this? We do so by advocating for reason. What exactly is reason? Rationality is the capacity unique to humans, which we are free to engage in or discard at any moment. It's the capacity to integrate information given to us by our senses to identify entities abstractly, enabling us to predict how they act. Whenever our hypothesis proves incorrect, we integrate that new information and come up with a new hypothesis, striving to more accurately predict reality. As a result, we create models of the world to predict the outcomes of actions we take. This is why reason enables us to have morality. The ability to judge the outcomes of our actions enables us to decide if they are morally virtuous or not. This is why the abandonment of reason is morally black. It disables any attempt of moral development. If one goes through life simply acting on their emotions, hoping that they are not evil, rather than intentionally thinking through their actions, that would mean giving up on morality. If the standard of morality was a person's emotions, that would render the concept of morality pointless, because it offers no guidance in what actions a person should take. The only alternative is to reason through the consequences of one's actions and to act based off of that. Can we actually expect moral progress if we apply reason to the problem of ethics? Luckily enough, we have a case study for the efficacy of reason. Take science as the example. It is the meticulous use of reason for the identification of causal relationships in nature. The endless technological advancements and our new understandings of the world are a direct result of reason. The application of reason to the understanding of reality has allowed our species to reach unimaginable heights in comparison to the stagnation of millennia behind us. In contrast, how long would it take a person to recreate any of this without knowing cause and effect? One couldn't put together a simple piece of furniture if one randomly performed actions, let alone the modern marvels of science such as the microchip. Reason is a prerequisite for all abstract knowledge and should be held as the standard of any endeavor. If you personally strive to be moral, to be good, then you have to be concerned with reason. The only way to get clarity on the topic of morality is to be as vigorously rational as a scientist. any future movement that makes any claims of striving for moral excellence must firmly ground themselves in reason, otherwise they should be dismissed automatically. No current political party can make the claim of being moral, because they reject the standard of reason to assess their actions by. If we want to put an end to moral stagnation of society, then we must resurrect our appreciation for reason. If we strive to be good, then we must accept that the rational understanding of reality is a prerequisite for morality.